Hey, I hurt my back. Welcome to Coach's Corner. This is our weekly newsletter for our physio coaching clients and VIP members on some tips and tricks to stay healthy and active as possible. And I'm going to say healthy and active as possible even despite recovering from an injury or getting injured. So I'm here to report that I tweaked my back. So this happened last week doing a deadlift. So I was literally exercising for fitness to build resiliency, and what ended up happening is I hurt myself. So this was doing some deadlifts, which I don't do that often, and maybe one would argue not often enough for the amount of weight that I was lifting, but overdid it. It's not a brand new issue for me to have a back pain kind of flare up every once in a while, but it's the same spot that it flares up every now and then. And so what that means is my entire workout plan, my strategy for the coming weeks has to be at least partially erased and modified. So thankfully this isn't my first rodeo, and as many of you know, that both exercising and living a really active life can often, some of the consequences may be, the negative consequence may be getting injured every now and then. But also that means that what we do is we modify. We figure out ways to work around that so we can still be as active as possible and recognize that part of your body, some of your tissue may actually be in a healing phase from an injury, and other parts of your body may still be in a performance and strengthening and strength gaining phase. And so what that means is that I've had to make some modifications. So specifically, I'm going back to much lighter weight. I did an exercise session this morning, and it was the first time that I actually put weight on my shoulders, really to kind of it challenges my core, challenges my back a little bit. But I took probably 25% off of the weight that I would normally be lifting. So dropped the weight quite a bit, increased the repetitions that I would normally be doing, took longer rest breaks in between sets. And specifically, this was squats and doing some overhead barbell press. Again, all of this transfers force through my back, and so made things a lot easier. I guess 'tis the season for humble pie, so I really wanted to lift more. Some of these exercises, which are not specifically back exercises, are ones that I've been getting stronger at, and so I've really been working on this over the course of a couple months. But it's not worth pushing too hard and making a bad situation worse. So what that means for you is that when you're doing exercises and you feel like something twinges, something doesn't feel right, either it's new or maybe it's an old kind of recurring injury, first of all, let your physio coach know, let us know so we can work around. Sometimes that may mean, like in this case, I know the exercise that did it, I know the exercise that, that specific exercise specifically loads and challenges this part of my back, and so it's off my list. So even if it's an exercise you love to do, that may mean saying like, well, you're not going to be doing it for the next couple of weeks, but what are some other ones that we can do? So learning how to work around those, recognize that it's not the end of the world, can be kind of challenging. I know a lot of you are going to push through no matter what, and can dig yourself a deeper hole. So recognizing the difference between good pain and bad pain, between muscle soreness and it just does not feel right and it kind of lingers for days. We have to make that distinction. We have to kind of say, okay, something needs to change, but what are some other exercises that we can do through the healing process so you can still get some gains in some other areas of your body? And once we start challenging that injured area, so in this case my back, really thinking I'm going to go so light and focus less on trying to have true strength gains or performance gains, and just work on technique. So everybody's technique can always use a little bit of polishing up. We all, especially as things get more challenging as we lift heavier or we're pushing through some fatigue, our forms, that tends to be the first sign that you're being overloaded, is that your form starts to fail. So if you are injured, first of all, make sure you let us know so we can give you some ideas on a way to work around. But a big part of recovery is making sure your brain communicates to this area of your body, to the muscles in that area of the body, in a way that is coordinated and well controlled. And in order to do that, it is less weight, sometimes even partial range of motion depending on what the exercise is. And it's a great way to still be making improvements while tissue is healing. So I'm in the same boat as many of you, and if most of you that know my story already, I mean, the reason why I'm a therapist is because 100 years ago when I was in high school, I had knee surgery, and so I had the first-hand experience of what it was like to have surgery and rehab and eventually recover. It's part of the process, and we're all in this together. And also, this is not going to be the last injury I have. I'm quite certain of that. So let's take it in stride. If you have any aches and pains, please let your physio coach know. Let me know. If you're having trouble with an exercise, let me know. If you, and not only if you're having pain, definitely let us know if you have pain, but also if you just have this intuition, that something just doesn't feel quite right, please let us know. Because sometimes the first sign is literally, it doesn't really hurt, but it just doesn't feel quite right. My shoulder doesn't feel quite right doing this, or my knee doesn't feel quite right. That's enough. That's enough of that's enough information for us to say, let's stop, let's reassess, let's make some modifications so you can still improve, so you can still achieve your goals, and not be stuck like me, where I'm going to take the next 6 weeks and kind of tap the brakes and do a bunch of workarounds, which is okay. I mean, kind of sucks really, but it is what it is. It's the way the body works, and so this too shall pass. But let's make sure we don't dig ourselves a deeper hole than we're already in. So, so with that, reach out to us if you have any questions, any exercises you feel like you need modifying, any aches or pains that just don't feel right. Let us know. We know what it's like. We know how to modify things as best as possible, and to keep you as healthy and active as possible. So, until then, stay healthy, listen to your body, and I'll check in with you guys soon.